Hello and welcome to CarStats. Today we are comparing two very interesting approaches to luxury MPVs. On the one hand, you've got the all-electric MG M9 EV recently launched at a rather ambitious 81.54 lakhs. On the other hand, there's the Kia Carnival, a diesel-powered land yacht priced at a slightly lower 79.11 lakhs. Now I do realize that neither of these is what you'd call cheap, but they undercut the go-to luxury MPV of choice, and that is the Toyota Veilfire, and both offer proper sliding doors for the second and third rows, which, if you ask me, an MPV of this size and price ought to have by default. What we are going to be doing today is a proper typical CarStats comparison where we'll be comparing these two MPVs on interiors, exteriors, features, safety, practicality and drivetrain. And after all of this, we will arrive at a CarStats on-road score. So let's begin with the exteriors. In terms of size, the MG M9 EV is bigger, not by an enormous margin, but the numbers tell the tale. Longer wheelbase, greater length, width and height. And because it's an EV, the M9 ditches the large front grille in favor of a sleeker, more aerodynamic nose. It looks rather serene, almost spaceship-like. Meanwhile, the Carnival opts for a bolder stance, sporting Kia's signature tiger nose grille. The headlight design on the Carnival is very typically Kia, and it is very much a brand statement. Angular, serious and not terribly subtle. The M9 also rides on 19-inch alloys, slightly larger than the Carnival's 18-inch wheels. Now color choices, well, don't get too excited. The Carnival is available in 2 shades and the M9 in 3. At the rear, both these have full width connected rear tail bars, which looks modern and very polished. If we are being honest though, the M9 looks better, and in this segment where looks and size equals to prestige, the MG M9 EV quietly takes this point. Step inside and things get rather interesting. Both these are 3-row MPVs and both of them offer captain seats in the second row. But while the Carnival's second row is perfectly and completely acceptable, the MG's lounge seats are verging on ridiculous. These are proper lounge chairs, larger, more supportive and covered in features that make you feel like you're not in a car at all, but in a compact business class cabin. The MG also gets a rather clever dual sunroof arrangement, one pane up in the front and a panoramic unit at the back. The Carnival counters with a dual pane electric setup too, but MG's configuration feels slightly more indulgent. In short, the MG M9's interiors is not just functional, it's a bit of an event. More space, better seats and a sense of quiet luxury. This is where things usually get serious. The Carnival with its 540-litre boot space at first seems quite sensible. But then the MG M9 EV turns up with a 945-litre boot, which is sort of what you would see in a mid-sized delivery van. The M9 also gets a front trunk that is, which is basically a bonus storage cubby where the engine isn't. Ground clearance identical at 180 mm, but the surprise here is turning radius. The MG wins here again, despite being the longer car. Now let's talk about range. The MG M9 EV promises a range of 548 kilometers on a full charge. But the Carnival with its 2.2-litre diesel and a 72-litre fuel tank claims a massive 1069 kilometer range, which means Bangalore to Mumbai on one tank of fuel should be possible. Well, let's be honest, if you're spending this kind of money on an MPV, fuel costs shouldn't bother you. But convenience matters, and while electric is lovely, it's not going to be as fast as fueling up the Kia Carnival. So apart from the niggling range anxiety, the MG M9 is more practical in every measurable way. Features. This is where both these cars try to one-up each other with brochures full of goodies. Let's begin with seating. Yes, the Carnival also has captain seats in the second row, but the MG takes things to another level. Reclining lounge seats, touchscreen control panels, and a general air of "don't talk to me, I'm working on a deal." Sunroof, as discussed earlier, slightly better again on the MG M9 EV. And when it comes to audio and infotainment, the MG gets a 13-speaker JBL setup with a subwoofer, a 12.3-inch infotainment screen, and a 7-inch digital instrument cluster. The Kia Carnival counters with a 12-speaker Bose surround system and a dual 12.3-inch curved display unit that flows neatly into the dashboard. Amongst these two cars, it's really a question of preference. MG is about second row immersion, whereas the Kia is about dashboard theater. Oh, and then the MG, since it's electric, also has vehicle to vehicle and vehicle to load charging. Overall, the MG definitely throws some more tricks at you, and some of them are genuinely very useful. When it comes to safety, both these cars take it seriously, and quite rightly so. The MG M9 offers level 2 ADAS, a 360-degree camera system, parking sensors, and 7 airbags. The Kia Carnival also gets level 2 ADAS, but with some 23 features on it. Apart from that, everything else is pretty much the same, on par with the MG M9 EV, but it offers one extra airbag. So yes, the Carnival edges ahead by offering 8 airbags instead of 7 that's available on the MG. Alright, let's now talk about drivetrain, and this is where ideology comes into play. The MG M9 EV has a 90 kWh battery sending power to the front wheels via an electric motor producing 242 horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque. It's quiet, refined, and offers the sort of torque delivery that makes low-speed commuting feel seamless. The Kia Carnival is a turbo diesel with a 2.2-liter engine producing 190 horsepower and 440 Newton meters of torque mated to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. It's louder, yes, but traditional and proven. So the M9 is a cleaner and more futuristic drive, whereas the Carnival is more old school, traditional, and long-legged. More suited perhaps to highway touring because you come across more fuel stations than EV chargers at this point of time. So this really boils down to preference, and despite the MG M9 EV being the more powerful vehicle amongst the two, I'm going to award both these cars 1 point each. So, tallying up all the points, the winner of this technical comparison is the MG M9 EV, and by a huge margin. Its only drawback is potential range anxiety. Otherwise, nothing else. It is the larger, more feature-packed vehicle amongst the two. It is also going to be cheaper to run and more practical than the Kia Carnival. And all this while the Kia Carnival is no slouch. It is an excellent, long-legged diesel highway tourer, but the MG M9 offers the more futuristic and forward-looking drive. If you like the smell of diesel and the certainty of 1,000 kilometers between fuel stops, then by all means go for the Carnival. As for me, I'd put my money on the MG M9 EV, but what would you do? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching CarStats, and I'll see y'all next week.